Hello, once again, you wonderful and beautiful people out there just watching my video at the present. This is Brother Teacher, if you don't already know who I am. Um, I just wanted to remind many of us of how fortunate we are to be blessed with such a magnificent body. When I say body, I'm talking about this thing here we call our bodies. In that, this is something that we're made the caregivers or the caretakers of. We have one body, we have one life, and we need to govern ourselves accordingly. There are things that this old body needs. It needs tender love and care. It needs proper nutrition, it needs proper exercise, proper rest, and it needs emotional fulfillment as well. It does. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't know what emotional fulfillment would be if we didn't have a body to experience it in. So oftentimes we deal with some of the negative sides of this human body: pain, physical maladies, disease, cancer, suffering, headaches, backaches, having to have surgery even on our body parts, removing organs, other invasive procedures, even the amputation of toes and fingers and limbs, things of this nature and sort. But how much of this do we control? I want to say to you that a great deal of it we do indeed control. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before and I'm saying it again. Most of the things that happen to us in this body, we cause. I just had a discussion early this morning about the body and how 80+% of our immune system is located in our gut. And it is. It's a fact. That natural flora, that beautiful place where our body has all of those positive bacteria, all of those good bacteria that fights off the bad bacteria, our disease center, so to speak. The immunity, if you will, is there. It's found there. Immune system. So oftentimes that can be compromised when we overwhelm our body with foreign substances, chemicals, things that don't belong there. It seems to me that it's so difficult for people to comprehend just how simple living really can be. How simple it is to actually take care of this old body. Now, if we are living, then the things that we put in and on our bodies, which is living, those things should be living as well. Because to promote life, you must have life. Hello? Sounds reasonable, huh? So now, the foods that you put in your body should be whole, WOHLE, whole or complete food, real food, not manufactured food, not processed foods. Let me tell you this. What are the chances that you would find white sugar outside in nature? Can you dig it up out the ground? Does it grow on a tree? What about high fructose corn syrup? Does it flow in a stream? Is there a well that contains this substance? Can you get it from an animal? Not at all. So why is it that we consider these some form of food. We enjoy the taste and the array of products that we find them in because it just seems to be very delectable to our taste buds. But this is by design, I'm sure you know already. You see, the industries that make these food products for us have one thing in mind, that's called profit. And really, it's at the expense of our health. Note that I said a moment ago that if we are living, the things that we put in our bodies and on our bodies should be living as well. Sugar is dead. There's no nutritional value in it at all. High fructose corn syrup is the same. There's no nutrition in it. And all of the other extended list, laundry list of products and chemicals that's added to our foods in our local grocery stores, in the food manufacturing companies, all of the additives, all of the agents that's added to our foods, if you will, they're not beneficial to the human body at all. They only serve as a means to keep the product on the shelf long enough just for we consumers to purchase it, for the most part. So now, what are you going to do about this body of yours? Or are you going to continue to fall subject to the powers that be that says, hey, let's take this glazed donut. Looks pretty good with a cup of coffee or hot chocolate. It tastes really good. I know. I enjoy an occasional chocolate chip cookie or so. But I personally, speaking for myself, I believe that I have enough self-control, self-restraint to say a few cookies is enough, and that's the end of it. But that's not everyone. There are those who eat not only cookies, but cakes and pies and various other types of pastries and lattes and cream type drinks and pizzas and hamburgers and hot dogs and things of this sort, day in and day out without cease, constantly bombarding or overloading the body's natural processes until the body cannot handle the load any longer. And so we end up, or they end up, with some form of a health issue, to include some disease or even cancer some years down the road. All because they didn't pay attention to what they were consuming. Now, I just talked about eating, notwithstanding drinking water from a municipal source, city water, which is laden full of all kinds of toxic material. Right? So, what about smoking cigarettes? What about taking pharmaceutical drugs that you really don't need, or even over-the-counter drugs for something as simple as a headache or the common cold? Do you not know that all of these unnatural things that did not come from nature have an adverse effect on this, the human body? So let me tell you this. Did you not also know that food doesn't hurt? Should I say that again? Real food does not hurt. You experience no headaches, no pain, no side effects, negative, that is, to consuming real food. Anytime you eat something or drink something and you end up experiencing pain, doesn't it stand to reason that there's something wrong with that item? I'm sure you went along with what I just said. I'm sure you agree. So if I was to drink something and I have a very, very bad headache or migraine afterwards, could it possibly be because what I consumed should have never been in my body in the first place? It doesn't fit. Same thing is true if you were to eat something and you have some very, very chronic stomach issues, cramping, bloating, and pain, unbearable sometimes, indigestion, acid reflux. Doesn't it stand to reason that something's wrong with that as well? What really stands to reason is that those things are actually processed foods. It's that simple. So now that you've been told, now that you've possibly been reminded how precious this thing is that we only have once in a lifetime, when we put all of the chemical laden products inside of our bodies and even on our bodies, when we inhale the smoke from the tobacco products, even those people who like to chew tobacco and even snuff similar products, and even those people who like to drink alcohol and even drink alcohol in excess. Just to name a few of the common things, the most common things. We all should know by now that all of the above mentioned things do cause illnesses and diseases over time. And I've heard people say, well, let's do it in moderation. Just do it in moderation. Does that really make sense? Even I, some years ago in my ignorance, would make that statement to some of my friends. Just do it in moderation. But I really knew in the back of my mind that I wasn't telling them the whole truth. When I really should have just simply said, stop doing it, period. If you want to have a long, healthy, prosperous life. You don't do chemicals. You don't do poison. You don't do toxins. You don't do artificial substances that you put in your body in moderation. Because you're still going to die. Some sooner than others. So my question to you is, are you taking care of your body today? This one thing that you have that lasts just for one lifetime? Are you watching what you eat? Are you giving it exercise as you should? You getting proper rest? Are you getting rid of the stressors in your life? All of those negative people around you. What about that? Are you reading a good book? Are you getting out, getting fresh air and watching nature? Or are you even staying away from bad relationships that are toxic and causing an undue amount of stress on you, thereby shortening your life even more? That's an abusive marriage or an abusive relationship, period. It could come from your children. It could come from your spouse. It could come from your parents. It can come from anywhere. Or you on a job that they don't appreciate you on, yet you have given them your very best. Those are stressors as well. Are you still in a situation where you lost a loved one and you haven't been able to cope with that loss? Could have been your mother, your father, a son or daughter, a grandparent, a husband or wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, someone close to you that you may have lost. Are you dealing with the stress of that still, and you have not conquered it? What I'm telling you today, to live. I'm here to encourage you to live. It's always dark, as they say, before the dawn. We all go through something. Many of us go through very similar things, but they are uniquely our own circumstance and situations. It's not what you go through, but it's how you deal with what you go through. Take a deep breath, steal away for a moment, and have time with yourself. And talk with yourself about your situation. And be honest with yourself. And say, self, or you can mention your name in your own secret closet and say, I acknowledge that this is my problem. This is my issue. And I make a resolution, not because it's 2020, but I'm making a resolution today to set forth in motion the effort to change my life for the better. Because I only have one life. And I'm going to make the best of my life beginning right now, today. I am. I'm not going to walk around with my head down. I'm not going to be depressed any longer. I'm not going to allow anyone to dictate my happiness or my lack thereof. I'm going to pick and choose those things that I enjoy doing in my life, to include my career and my joy and my fulfillment in life, and not let someone else dictate those things. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to stop smoking, if that's you. I'm going to stop drinking, if that's you. I'm going to stop taking drugs if I don't need to, if that's you. I'm going to start eating a more wholesome diet, rich in nutrients, and cut out the junk. I'm going to start taking walks, going out in nature, experiencing life for what life really is. And I'm going to stop allowing people to make me unhappy, thereby shortening my life. Are you ready to do this? I have faith in you. I want to tell you before I leave, you can do anything that you want to in this life, virtually. But you gotta want to. You can be happy if you want to. There's just absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be. I believe in you, but you must believe in yourself. This is Brother Teacher. Think on these things. I'm out.